So this weekend, Cody Garbrandt rematches TJ Dillashaw for the bantamweight title. Frankly, I'm all studied out when it comes to Cody, TJ and Dominick Cruz. Footwork this. Feinting that. Angles this. Shifting that. Blah blah blah. Are we overthinking things here? This is face punching, folks. As one famous MMA philosopher once said,
"Let me bang, man!"
Nonetheless, if you really are interested in doing a deep dive into this matchup, you need to start by studying Dominick Cruz. That will help you understand the beginnings of TJ's style. Be warned though. Some of these studies have been banned by the UFC, as being harmful to the public interest. So watch at your own risk. Then, to find out how Cody inserted himself into the bantamweight conversation, you will need to understand how Cody defeated the footwork magic of Cruz, which was key to Cruz beating TJ. If you want to get a bit more specific, you might even want to dig into some of Cody's key tactics and techniques. For those of you in a rush, you might want to just study how the first fight between Cody and TJ went, to get an idea on how this rematch will go. But, for those lazy viewers out there, who may also hate my awesome music, not to worry, I got your back. In a nutshell, my main question going into this rematch is, what exactly is Cody's plan B? Let's run through the first fight again. In round 1, TJ and Cody engaged in a reenactment of Cody vs. Cruz. TJ was trying to step around Cody, to get a good angle to strike. Here you can see, TJ is stepping out to the side, hoping that Cody either turns on the spot, or starts to strike, so that TJ can strike with a better angle. Cody repeated two things he did in the Cruz match, to counter this footwork by TJ. Let us now first look at the counter footwork by Cody. First, Cody was seeing all of TJ's entries, and cutting him off. Here Cody opens his base, as TJ tries to enter in the southpaw stance, giving him the better angle. Realizing exchanging here is a losing proposition, TJ retreats. Alternatively, Cody was having none of it, and simply fled whenever he felt an angle getting created on him. In these few sequences, you can see Cody simply just counter-circling or running whenever TJ tries to step around. This counter to neutralize the footwork of TJ was also used by Cody against Cruz. Seeing all the traps Cruz was planning to set with his angles, Cody would simply retreat if he sensed a bad foot position was getting created. Secondly, when TJ could not get angles, and was starting to come straight in at Cody, Cody would drop his guard to start flurrying, hoping to blitz TJ in a barrage of punches. Cody trusts his power, and is gambling that one of his power strikes will catch you. Towards the end of the first round, as TJ was starting to lose patience, Cody set his feet while TJ was coming straight in, and caught TJ with a hook to get a knockdown. Somehow, TJ managed to weather the storm as time ran out. Dropping your guard to exchange is a risk. To illustrate what a more defensively minded fighter would do in contrast, here we can see Joe Soto guarding up as TJ unloads, choosing not to exchange in the pocket. Cody used this strategy of flurrying successfully against Cruz, and got several knockdowns when Cruz came straight in. Okay, so that's Cody's plan A. And just like it worked against Cruz, it worked against TJ in round 1. In between rounds, TJ makes this key adjustment. Listen to Duane Ludwig, his coach.
I like the pressure, corralling him into the cage is very good. I like you corralling him, cutting him off, okay? Because he doesn't like that pressure. He wants to sit there, right? But we don't have to sit up every kick. You can just blast a fucking kick if you want, like to your body, right? Not everything has to be a sit-up, okay? Just blast a fucking kick, okay?
For my MMA World Star homies, if I could paraphrase, don't try to set every kick up, just start blasting some in, especially to the body. That's right, Duane Bang Ludwig gives TJ permission to stop being so cerebral, and do this.
Let me bang, I do let you bang. Hey. Let me bang again, man. I'll let you bang. I'll let you bang. Let you bang. Let you bang, man.
Before getting into round 2, let's go more into TJ's kicking for a bit. TJ is an accomplished kicker, and if you look at his Instagram, he's really into finishing punch combinations with kicks. Setting up his kicks with punches gives him the element of surprise in the pocket. He's quite flexible, and can throw head kicks out of nowhere at close range during exchanges. He also likes to feint with his hands, only to throw a kick instead. Worrying about his hand movements is just a setup, and TJ in recent fights has really started to increase these feint setups. Another setup he often tries, is to step to the side to make an angle. Here he is hoping to catch you with a kick as you flee sideways. Lineker didn't fall for this, and planted to strike, which TJ took advantage of, by going for takedowns instead. Like Cruz, TJ is learning from your responses and adapting as the fight goes along. Cody, on the other hand, is less prolific at kicking and doesn't look to throw high kicks at close range. Back to round 2. TJ starts blasting kicks with no setup. Some miss, but some make contact. This adjustment by TJ does several key things though. First, they are driving Cody away from the center, towards the cage, setting up potential takedowns. This in turn is forcing Cody to start breaking out to the center with flurries, which TJ can potentially exploit. Secondly, the kicks to the body are forcing Cody to think about blocks. Forcing Cody to keep his hands low, and think less about throwing punches. As most who watched the first fight remember, Cody gets caught with his hands low, blocking what he thought was a body kick, and winds up getting head kicked and knocked down. Losing the round, and possibly still rocked, Cody loses his footwork discipline, and decides to flurry when TJ makes a good angle. Rather than flee like he did in round 1. Exchanging on bad terms, Cody gets finished, though to his credit, he manages to land a few strikes of his own. So this brings us back to the present. TJ's plan A is to make angles on Cody. Cody's plan A, to TJ's plan A, is to flee and exchange on favorable terms. TJ's plan B, is to pick Cody apart with kicks and force errors. So what exactly is Cody's plan B, to TJ's plan B? Do let me know in the comments how you think Cody might adjust this time around. In closing, TJ is a master at baiting. This is a strategy he has learned from downloading and watching copious amounts of Cruz footage. For research purposes, of course. Do note though, that TJ doesn't just feint with crouches like Cruz. But he has also mastered baiting with his hand. Specifically, TJ will dangle his hand out, like bait, looking to trigger a response that he can counter off from. Or he can simply distract you with it, while he throws with his other hand. Cody didn't fall for this trick in their first encounter, but if he is pressured by TJ's kicks to start initiating exchanges, he could start biting on all kinds of bait. Remember, TJ also wants to generate exchanges, though he is looking to land combinations when he has favorable angles on you, rather than to land a big right hand. Cody is not much of a feinter, in comparison to Cruz and TJ. Or, does he have us all fooled? There isn't much training footage of Cody leading up to this fight, and he elected not to do an open workout before this rematch. Has he developed a counter jab to deal with TJ's kicks? Has he developed a kicking strategy to fight TJ at range? Will he be looking to shoot aggressively for takedowns every time TJ tries to make angles? So many questions unanswered, but thankfully, we only have to wait a few more days to find out. Till next time, folks.
Hey, do you ever watch any of this BJJ Scout guy? He does these video breakdowns, and he did a pretty intensive breakdown on Dominick Cruz leading up to the fight, and just explaining, how he kind of uses his feints.
Oh, I think I did see that. Yeah, I see one prior. That was pretty good.
How is that pretty accurate? I mean, because I'm pretty much pretty lame when it comes to the stand-up part of things.
Well, there's a lot of truth, a lot of education to that breakdown. There's quite a few things that he doesn't see that I see, or I just look at things differently, obviously. But from someone who doesn't necessarily compete or has competed, I was impressed with the breakdown. It was good.